Alright, so the material I'm going to use for the runners is just this cutting board stuff, and I'm just going to cut it 3/4 of an inch on the table saw and just kind of inch up on it until I get a nice tight fit in my T-slot. The only problem is the stuff's only 12 inches wide and my sled is 24. So what I'm going to have to do is do 2 pieces per side. So hopefully that won't end up being a big deal. Alright, so one of the things I'm doing different on this sled compared to other sleds is I'm using pan head screws. And I'm just doing that because with a countersink, what ends up happening is it might, if you don't get your hole drilled perfectly centered, you might end up pushing the slide one way or the other, throwing it off. And not only that, if you do need to adjust these, if you got a pan head, you can just widen out the hole and move it where you need to move it. So, I don't know, we're going to try and see how it works, and hopefully it works out alright for me. There's plenty of room in the T-slot for it to clear. Alright, so this is a pretty simple sled setup. It's just 1/2 inch material. I notched out one corner just to lose some of the bulk. Now, I got it hard to one side. That's because I want my stop to be able to work on this side, because I can use my fence as a stop on this side. Now, as far as the fence goes, I didn't buy T-track. I just made it by cutting a couple dados before I glued it together, then ripped out the center. I also added this piece here by just screwing and gluing it to the back so I can get more blade height. And I also put a double piece of plywood in the back to support the front part of the sled. Alright, so now that I got my first cut made, I can check with my square to see how close I am. I'm pretty close, but I think I'm off about a 32nd. So I'm going to adjust this and get as close as I possibly can with a combination square. And then I'll take a 5 cut to see how close I actually got it. Alright guys, if you haven't heard of the 5 cut method to square up a sled before, then go ahead and check that out. I don't want to get deep into it. But basically all it is you take 5 cuts on a piece of scrap plywood, and then the last cut you make will basically compound any error that you have, so you can measure the top to bottom, which this is my piece here. As you can see, I got about 1.19, and then here I have 1.7. So I'm off by 20 thou. A lot of guys will correct that, but I am just not that worried about it. I mean, you're compounding your air all the way across 20 thou. That's just nothing I'm going to be concerned about. So that's where I'll leave it, and I'll go ahead and screw that fence down nice and tight. Alright, 2 final touches for this sled is to actually make the stop, and it's really simple. It's just 2 pieces of maple screwed together, and then of course a T-nut, and I got a little cam action handle, and it slides on here like this, and then you can lock it by just tightening down the cam, and it holds quite well, so I'm happy with that. The second thing is to put a blade guard in the back. Mine's just 2 pieces of plywood. I think that's a very important safety feature. Your thumbs are always in that area, so highly recommend that you put this on your sled. And other than that, all it needs is a finish. So I hope you guys like this project, and don't forget, if you want to see what's going on before the video comes out, you can check me out on Instagram. I'm Ryan Nodwell, and thanks for watching.